All right, hello everyone. This is Crota coming at you, giving you game 2 in a 3-game set. And yes, I do mean game 2. Game number 1, for some reason, Fanta Fiction and ZDR opted to play on a non-standard version of Twisted Meadows, thereby making it impossible for me to watch the replay. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. Fanta Fiction spawning as the blue Undead player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, ZDR spawning as the red Orc player on the bottom right. Now, first thing I do want to say, I did come across a replay that looks particularly interesting. It's just abnormally long, like over an hour long. So let me know if you guys have any interest in me actually casting a game like that. It would definitely help me out. I don't know if I can actually do a marathon session solo casting a game like that. So it'd be really strange. And then trying to set up the logistics for a 2-player cast or a co-cast would be rather difficult as well. So yeah, let me know how things are going. Also, I was doing the basic number crunching, and I think I'm actually losing money casting now. So if any of you guys out there would like to support me through Patreon or through PayPal, I think my Patreon donations actually made me break even for the past 4 months, which really helps me out. Thank you for everyone who has already signed up through Patreon and the people who are currently donating through PayPal. I'll leave the links in the description. If you so feel inclined to donate and support me, at least in this endeavor, thank you very much. I am trying to expand my YouTube channel and figure out what else I can do. Video games seem to be a dying trend unless you really devote full time to it, and that's just not something I can really do, giving up my day job. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. Fanta Fiction opening up with a Death Knight here. He does have a fair number of ghouls, and will Fanta Fiction be able to take down ZDR? Now, we are going up against a Blade Master, and that Blade Master is currently not anywhere on the map because, well, I do not see him. There you have it. Alright, I'm actually gonna be changing the view to ZDR so I can actually see the Windwalking Blade Master. Oh, are we gonna see the death coil? No death coil steals there, but we may see the death of a grunt, and that's going to end up dealing a big blow. Death Knight already on the board with 60 experience, taking down a 205 gold grunt. That is really expensive. I believe a grunt is 205 gold. I haven't actually played Orc in quite some time. Anyways, we see the quick selling of the item there, 150 gold back. I guess that makes up for the lost grunt, as he does get a little bit of experience, as the Blade Master of ZDR now looks to clear out the giant sea turtle creep camp just outside his base. Meanwhile, Death Knight looking to do a little bit of rounds here, going to be hitting up this creep camp and then most likely this one, and perhaps following up with the Ogre Warrior creep camps in the corner. Blade Master, on the other hand, already has level 2, picks up Cloak of Shadows, not a very useful item, but he could hold on to that for just a little bit and before selling it at the Goblin Merchant Shop. That is worth 50 gold, 5 seconds in time, and 5 seconds could be the difference between victory and defeat in terms of reinforcements and your overall army size. Blade Master now looking to charge in here. Death Knight may actually overextend, and if he does not realize that the Blade Master is nearby, this could be very bad news. Blade Master almost... Wait, what was that? Fanta Fiction almost had a spider sense tingling sensation, realizing that the Blade Master was nearby. Blade Master is now sitting right there, taking a bit of damage. You see Unholy Aura is available, so the Blade Master does have to worry about these ghouls, since the Death Knight can in fact get in front of that Blade Master, who does not have Boots of Speed just quite yet. There we have the turnaround Windwalk. Are we going to see the Windwalk right there? No way to really burn the mana off of the Blade Master, as the Blade Master forced to Windwalk in order to be able to stick around just a little while longer. Meanwhile, Death Knight sitting at level 2 is taking the Halls of the Dead. We could be looking at a Naga Sea Witch tier 2 push, but up against a Blade Master, I am expecting that Lich second. Now, the Death Knight making sure to make quick work of that giant sea turtle. Giant sea turtle already taken down. Cloak of Shadows has now been picked up, as we see a couple of easy sea turtle hatchings now falling prey and falling victim. Blade Master gets up to level 2. It looks like he picked up another Circlet of Nobility, and there's a Death Coil saving a rather low hit point Ghoul. That Ghoul down to 228 hit points already. And yeah, that Ghoul would be so low on life as a Skeletal Minion now does a little bit of blocking and pathing. Skeletal Minion could have at least attacked the Blade Master to disrupt the healing, but the Blade Master is already up to full life, so not going to really matter all that much. Another Skeletal Minion now trying to get into position and now blocks that Blade Master once more. That Blade Master with those boots of speed, and double Circlets of Nobility, plus 100 hit points, plus 60 mana, plus 1.2 armor, plus 4 damage. Just so strong in this matchup as we're now going into double Bestiaries. Double Bestiaries makes a lot of sense. It doesn't make sense to go really for Spirit Link in the Orc vs Undead matchup because of those Destroyers. Destroyers easily removing that debuff and actually getting stronger because of it. That's always something you have to worry about, as the Blade Master now clearing up the Forest Troll Berserker creep camp here at the 9 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Blade Master now clearing up the rest of the remaining ogres here. Skeletal Minion may actually, does he get the, I think he actually got the gold right there, Fanta Fiction. If you were taking a look at that, I didn't see gold coins above Mikasa's body there, indicating the number of gold that he got for the kill. So the Skeletal Minion may have actually gotten that last hit, giving level 3 to that Death Knight. If that is the case, that is a big bonus there, as the Blade Master here is just sitting at level 2, just shy of level 3. Not going to have any real problem getting there, but it is just one of those situations, one of those times where creeping may take just a little bit longer. The Blade Master not wind walking nearly as fast, not going to be able to do nearly as much constantly, as we now see the Tauren Chieftain with Robe of Magi. Now, I am surprised that it is a Tauren Chieftain in this matchup. The Tauren Chieftain is not nearly as strong as the Shadow Hunter, adding in healing waves to try and heal that Blade Master and keep him up. Hex also on unsuspecting units to be able to force them and take them out. Also a big issue, as we're looking at the, I believe that Death Coil was able to dodge that, the Windwalk was able to dodge that Death Coil in time, as we're now looking at Wind Riders. Okay, this is a definite change of strategy coming in from ZDR. ZDR going Tauren Chieftain Wind Riders, knowing that his opponent is most likely going to be going for Destroyers. However, you say, okay, well, the obvious counter to Wind Riders is going to be Crypt Fiends, and that's where the Tauren Chieftain comes in. Tauren Chieftain stomping those Crypt Fiends to allow the Grunts to actually get within combat range. That is their goal. Because the Tauren Chieftain also has Endurance Aura, while those units are temporarily stunned with Stomp, the Grunt should be able to get into position. That is what we're looking at, and that's what we're pondering here, as the Forest Troll now getting finished off. Grunt, or the Tauren Chieftain, is still going to be sitting at level 1, not going to be at level 2 just quite yet. Meanwhile, the Blade Master, Ring of Protection +2 now, armor up into the 37% damage range, 10.2% or 10.2 armor. That is a very big deal, as the Blade Master hopes to finish off at least one of those kills, gets 12 gold, and now going to easily run away. I don't believe the Blade Master is going to have any luck. Nope, going after a couple of ghouls instead. There's the Frost Armor slowing things down. Dark Ranger now coming over. We may even see a silence on that Blade Master eventually, as we see now the Wind Riders going after this creep camp here. The Grunt will get to level 2 without a problem. Gloves of Haste now making the hero attack speed fast, should be even faster after that Endurance Aura, as the Blade Master now attempts to back off. Wind Riders are right here. Tauren Chieftain is sitting at level 2. However, no Scroll of Town Portal in order to head back home quickly. Voodoo Lounge already gonna get shut down here, as we are looking at the Blade Master perhaps trying to engage and take down some of these units. All right, Crypt Fiends may try and web, and this is one of those things I never quite understood. When I believe you get webbed by a Crypt Fiend, you actually end up right in front of that Crypt Fiend, which is very dangerous and very deadly. Death Coil now taking down a Peon, as you can see more and more of those skeletal minions absorbing that key damage. Back off to the north, Blade Master picking up some new items. Tauren Chieftain ready to go. And are we going to see a big stomp? That is the big question there. Barracks going to get taken down without any real problem, as the B series now going into Kodos. All right, supply count 49 over 50. Remaining units now going to perhaps try and engage. There's that web speed scroll now being used. Tauren Chieftain, oh, silence. There's a stomp to try and remove that. There goes one of the units already, as the Tauren Chieftain uses a beautiful potion of invulnerability in order to get away. Crypt Fiends, however, continuing to do a tremendous amount of damage, but with no more anti-air units save for the Obsidian statues and the Lich and Dark Ranger, which, when you come to think about it, is quite a lot. We'll see how that's all gonna go down here. All right, you can see the damage is starting to add up. Crypt Fiend getting chomped on at the other side. Meanwhile, you can see more damage coming through here. Critical strike, Death Coil now coming through, as well as the Tauren Chieftain now leading the charge and leading the way. Wind Riders still trying to finish off perhaps some of the units, and the Wind Riders could have easily taken down the Obsidian statue, but because of the movement speed of the Death Knight bonus, the Unholy Aura allowing those units to escape, the Tauren Chieftain may even consider getting Endurance Aura level 2 first over Stomp, just because a little bit of bonus damage from the Stomp is nowhere near as important as the movement speed and being able to catch up to those units. Tauren Chieftain now looking to finish off all of the giant sea turtles down off over here. Tauren Chieftain now sitting at, 300 some odd hit points, now getting up to level 3. Meanwhile, Blade Master looking to finish off the Ogre Magi. Is he going to be able to do so? Oh, no steal right there. Potion of Invulnerability was purchased. Claws of Attack +9. And now ZDR now finally adding good items to his arsenal to try and finish off the remaining units. Tauren Chieftain very low on hit points. It looks like he will be able to survive. However, he needs to really get a healing salve in order to stick around in this game. He is not in a good position by any stretch of the imagination. 50 over 50 supply, though, compared to 49 over 60. Normal logic would tell you that he's actually winning this fight or losing this fight, but I do believe that Undead has a little bit of an advantage with the items and the difficulty that he's creeping. The level 3 Death Knight going up against a level 3 Tauren Chieftain and a level 3 Blade Master. He is accompanied with, though, a level 2 Lich and I believe a level 2 Dark Ranger who has yet to see the light of day. Ogre Warrior finally taken down. No, wait, Dark Rangers. Let's see the not light of day. Well, I don't know. Has it seen daytime? It's been what, a couple of hours into nightfall. I think the Dark Ranger maybe saw its first day daylight, but I don't know, mid-afternoon. We'll see how all of that progresses. Now, Tauren Chieftain has +10. Count that, +10 intelligence, 450 mana. The mana on that Tauren Chieftain recovering very, very quickly. Gonna help out. Meanwhile, Blade Master now looking to finish off the remaining units here. Blade Master having a potion of healing is a very, very important thing to note, just because there is no Shadow Hunters or any real way for that Blade Master to heal a fair amount of hit points early on in any sort of engagement. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 3, very close to 4. Does he have level 2 Endurance Aura? No, he does not. There is a quick, turn around, and we are going to see a bit of an engagement. Gargantuan Sea Turtle not going to get, or not even really fighting right now, just kind of stuck in between locations, as the Gargantuan Sea Turtle is now ending up gonna go to Fanta Fiction, level 3 now on the Lich. Blade Master perhaps a little bit sad at how things are unfolding, and now not only that, the Dark Ranger also gets to level 3. Level 3 Dark Ranger, level 3 Lich, level 4 Death Knight against a level 4 Blade Master and a level 3, almost level 4 Tauren Chieftain. If that Tauren Chieftain can get to 4 and land a good number of stomps to try and allow those Crypt Fiends to poke off units, that could be enough, but that could be, it has a very, very big clause in it, as we're now looking at as things break down. All right, Destroyer taking a fair bit of damage. All right, there's a beautiful stomp right in the center. Skeletal Man's now taken down. Tauren Chieftain should be getting Endurance Aura level 2. Yeah, quickly gets to that. Attacking speed now increased and movement speed increased for pretty much all units. There's another stomp right there. More damage being added. The Shade not really being spotted as all the units are continuing to back off. Another stomp right there. Another Crypt Fiend now taken down. Skeletal minions fighting on both sides. Troll Headhunters now joining in on the fight to try and finish off the Destroyers, as we are now at 38 over 60 supply, but the number of Destroyers may be just far too much. 4 Destroyers left. You can see the Dark Ranger now taken down, though, but the Destroyers are in and of themselves fairly strong heroes. Until a destroyer falls, I cannot imagine Fanta Fiction losing this game right yet, as he is still pretty much up against the ropes, hanging on for survival. Alright, destroyers now looking to finish off a handful of orc burrows. One orc burrow already down. Death Knight seeing that level 4, getting very close to level 5. Another orc burrow gonna get taken down. Are we gonna see a stomp? No stomp there, as the Blade Master now gonna finish things off. Blade Master in a little bit of trouble. He realizes he needs to get out of there. Lich out of mana, and now Fanta Fiction tries to save the Lich. Does exactly that. Now trying to get away. Destroyers attempting to take down Raiders, and that's not always the best counter unit. You can see how much or how little damage those Destroyers were really doing against those Raiders. You got to remember, those Destroyers are, what, 10 supply worth of units against a 3 supply worth of unit. And still, with all of that showing, the units were not falling all that quickly. Alright, continuing this fight here. It looks like, yes, another Raider will get taken down. Destroyers doing their job. 2 Destroyers going at it. And it looks like the Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 4. If it gets to level 5, wow, it is now at level 5. Level 3 Stomp. It might be on the table. Yeah, level 3 Stomp now on the table. As the Crypt Fiend now tries to back off. It will be able to back off. 35 over 40 supply for ZDR. Meanwhile, Fanta Fiction at 43 over 70. He's pretty much, a 15%, maybe even 20% larger army if you factor in the number of workers in that initial big supply worth of units. All right, Blade Master now heading off over, going to be poking its head over here, hoping to get a little bit of extra experience. Meanwhile, Death Knight sitting at 5, Lich sitting at 4. Blade Master now coming in from behind. Are we going to see the Dust of Appearance being used? There is the steal, beautiful steal, and it was another, I believe, Boots of Speed. Yeah, another Boots of Speed taken by the Blade Master. That will most likely either be sold or given to that Tauren Chieftain. All right, Blade Master now looking to engage here. That's a lot of Destroyers. That is a lot of... There's only a handful of Crypt Fiends, and now we are adding in Ghouls as they are pushing in across the map. So far, no telling sign as to who's going to win this next upcoming fight. Supply count 39 for ZDR, 52 for Fanta Fiction, and I'm surprised that we don't see more units coming out from ZDR right now. You can see Bat Riders now being added, Bat Riders on both sides. So Bat Riders are extremely useful against the Destroyers to try and pick off a little bit of that damage at least, but you do end up sacrificing some of your units in order to deal that large bit of damage. Tome of Agility now being left behind. No, Dark Ranger gonna read the book. Yes, makes me so happy when the appropriate hero finishes up and reads the tome left at that creep camp. Blade Master currently shadow melded. Tauren Chieftain has no idea where he is as we are looking for this next engagement. The Death Knight now looking to roam in, and here we go. There is the attack. There's a beautiful stomp. No heal, but a potion of invulnerability will do. As you can see, Speed Scroll now being used. Alright, Speed Scroll trying to chase down a handful of units. Lich now going after some more units. There's a beautiful stomp there, but the Blade Master falls at level 5, and I think that will be it. Orc is pretty much done. Just stick a meat in him as ZDR loses game number 2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 2. Please stay tuned for game number 3.